Hello, hello. I'm the official name raider. My job is to look through the first page of Google after making sure we got the right tab highlighted, review the nicknames provided by the internet, and then give my recommendations at the end. Today we're looking at just Espeon alone, and because we've had these issues in the past before with, Pokemon Go ruining everything, it's gonna make things a little bit difficult. But yeah, we're gonna try our best. I only want to acknowledge this nickname purely for the description and the description alone. It's nice to know I'm not the only person out there that thinks like this. Thank you. Moving on though, ESPN. I get it. Haha, silly joke. Do I care about it as a nickname? Not really. Would I expect someone else out there to? Sure. If that's your dig, go for it, I guess. Okay. Daybreak is actually what I use, and I remember finding it, I'm pretty sure just right here, and this was the suggestion. I just thought it was a good sounding name, but also it held meaning to Espeon. And I think a lot of people honestly kind of forget that sometimes you can attach names based off of what the Pokemon is actually like. And this is a good example. Don't really care about Apollo, but there's your typical god thing that you're going to see 50 billion times. So I've never once seen anyone name things after alcohol or mixed beverages and stuff, but I kind of like it. I think we saw one with Magmar Margarita. That was like the only exception. But I actually kind of like it because when you pair the two together, I don't know, I just think it's kind of funny, especially if you're playing Coliseum where you start off with both Espeon and Umbreon and then they're always together, so you can use cider vodka. So, I don't, again, understand why the fuck they feel the need to spell shit out. Solstice means sun stands still in Latin. You know what it also means? Fucking the longest day of the year. I was half right, I just forgot, because I was thinking, I was like, wait a minute, isn't it winter solstice? And the answer is yes, both winter and summer, so it's that. But then I started thinking about equinox, and I was like, well, which one's equinox? And I'm guessing that's just spring and fall. But the point is, solstice is a good name, equinox is a good name, and we've had those before on the list of, find someone that it'll fit. And I think this is a good fit, especially when you pair the two together. I might actually need to write these things down because they were just clever. And it kind of works like Nido, King, and Queen, where when paired together, they're really good. And I kind of want to mention them in the Umbreon episode too. So, I like the name Felicity a lot, but I think that's because I associate it with a certain adult actress. And I also feel like it is pretty often associated with cat or cat-like and all that. The idea that it means happiness, I never would have guessed that. I didn't know that. Now I know that. The evolves with max happiness, that's not a bad reason. You could apply that to other friendship-based Pokemon if you want to. But in general, I think it works mostly just for the cat thing, or maybe just because I'm a pervert and I associate it with somebody else. Now, it's been a very long time, but I'm pretty sure Chugga Conroy also named his Espeon this in his Crystal LP. The last time I watched it, it was brand new, so I'll give you a clue on how old that was. And I'm mostly just acknowledging it for that, but again, we've talked about canon nicknames plenty of times. Anything from the anime, the manga works just as well. I fully support those, and I think those work. No matter how stupid they are, Rainer, Sparky, Pyro. Okay, we've also seen the stone motif with the evolutions as well before, and Amethyst is actually one on the spreadsheet. We've seen this before with Vaporeon Sapphire, Jolteon Topaz, Flareon Ruby, and stuff like that. And again, if you want to take that route, I fully support it. I think it's a very clever and cool idea, so if you want to do that, that's cool. We've also seen the planet motif in that Reddit post of what do you guys nickname your Pokemon episode blah. So the planet motif is fully supported. I don't remember what the recommendation was for Espeon, honestly. I remember Leafeon was Earth, and then Vaporeon was Neptune and stuff like that. But I don't honestly remember Espeon. But the point is, though, the planet motif fully works if you want to go ahead and take the evolutions and splat it out like that. Well, you're busy slamming your head into the DS actually turned out to be the real name of a Pokemon. Congratulations. Game Freak listened to what you said. If I'm honest, I'm not sure how I feel about this. On one hand, I kind of like the history lesson, and I remember the whole Pokegods thing, too, when I was younger. But, I don't know. I'm half and half on it. Again, it's a cool novelty, but I don't know if I would use it or recommend it. But it was at least interesting enough to talk about. I'm not gonna lie, I kind of don't hate 3D Espeon. Like, that's kind of clever. And it reminds me that I made a stupid little joke with my Saptile where it had 3D in the name as well. I'm not gonna tell you. I'm gonna make you wait. But just know that I don't hate 3D Espeon, and I think it's kind of clever. Okay, Destiny, I don't really care. It's nothing special. It's a real person's name. I don't think it has anything to do with Espeon. Everseer, I don't like at all. I think that's bad. Zen or Sai, I like that he didn't, like, you know, unbold the or part. Don't really care for those either. I saw Zen on there before, and I was just like, yeah, that's not really good, and Zen Headbutt exists, so it kind of seems dumb. And then Apollo, we've already seen before, your typical god stuff, and is very uninteresting. Espionage, and just for clarification's sake, we need a good cheesy nickname, and I think that fits that criteria pretty well. As far as the nickname, again, if you're only going for something dumb and cheesy, it works. But I think maybe if it were like had stealth abilities, it would be perfect, but it doesn't, so it doesn't matter. And then Espioff is also another good cheesy one. It's a terrible nickname, and I wouldn't recommend it at all, but if you like terrible, there you go. And this isn't the bad kind of terrible, this is the good kind of terrible. There's actually quite a bit of cheesy nicknames. Okay, we got a bunch here, and the number one thing to at least talk about is going to be Sakura. For those of you who play Pokemon Go, that's going to be the name of the trainer who own the Espeon in the episode where they're in Ecruteak, and they're talking about the Kimono girls and stuff like that. So, if you want to do that as a nod, that works, but that's about it. Grandma as a Pokemon. My grandma. Who the fuck put these there and why? Nothing else on here is really worth talking about, but my grandma as a Pokemon. Wow. Well, I guess we're gonna acknowledge Starfire real quick before it takes it away from us. Do I think it's a good nickname? Not overly, but there's that. If you got to see it before Pinterest decided to forcibly demand more from you. Fuck off! I don't want to create an account for your shit site. Now, I decided to go ahead and dig up what this post was just because we did it the last few times and I think it works. The answer is Espeon was Saturn. Honestly, I don't necessarily hate the idea of Mercury. Or I guess just the sun if you want to be like that. Also, I want an answer to this question because this isn't anything to do with the nickname. What color is Espeon to you? Because to me it's pink. And my friend has a tattoo of an Espeon and I asked her why and she said because Espeon's purple. What color is Espeon? Alright, so I've clicked on everything. We had to end on here because there was site maintenance. And do yourself a favor and skip this link. It's literally nothing but the word sunshine over and over and over again. But yeah, I've clicked on everything. We went through the bottom and then I had to go back up for that one link. And that's everything. And honestly, Pokemon Go didn't ruin it too much, thankfully. Finished by checking the spreadsheet. We've gone over Amethyst, I guess Opal if you want to do that. I personally think Amethyst is a better idea. Sunstone I don't recommend, because that's a real thing in Pokemon. I've seen Nekomata a few times and I just ignored it because I didn't understand it. Now I understand it. I still don't care, but if that's a thing you're passionate about, then sure, whatever. That's it though. There were a fair bit of good nicknames for it. Like, I think Espeon turned out pretty well. And I think we covered most of the bases for, like, previous evolution episodes as well. So, weirdly, according to my notes, because I didn't write anything extra down other than the Vodka Cider and Solstice Equinox, because I think those pairings are good. The only other one I have written down was just Amethyst, and then the one I personally use, which is Daybreak. So, nothing that we found was apparently important enough to me to make me want to write it down, and I've never seen any other nicknames in previous episodes that made me want to write them down. So if you found something in this video that you liked, go for it. But I personally use Daybreak. I think it's a good name. If there's something better out there, I'm open to that suggestion, but until then I'm content with settling for Daybreak for the time being. Anyway, provide your ideas in the comments below. Let's keep talking about Espeon, and then I'll see you in a couple days for when we cover Umbreon.